And we're live. So we got Josh Cunny fucking Wade. How are you, Cunny?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm about to get pretty cooked, so I'm going to be a lot
Yeah.
fucking better in a second.
I thought you said you're sucking on a vape. You got heroin in your vape or something?
It's just a bit of fucking crystal meth. Just sucking on a pipe right now.
Yeah. So you're a professional funny cunt. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever spoken to a professional before.
Well, I don't know. I think you're doing fucking 10 times better than me, so I don't know. I don't know who the real professional is here. Me sucking up the crystal meth, talking to you, or someone that's actually making money from this website. Good on you.
Oh mate, you've been to America, mate. You've
Oh,
been to
fucking
America.
anyone can get to America. You can become the president if you fucking want. It's not that hard there.
Yeah, apparently so. So tell us about your journey, man. Tell us about your trip to your time in LA and all that. Give the audience a background, man.
All right, here you go. This is going to trigger some of your audience because I've already been reading some of the comments. But when I was over there, this is when Trump announced to run for president, and sort of this was the beginning. I suppose it wasn't the beginning, but it was fucking. It was the start of this big movement with feminism when it really took that mainstream fucking thing. And I was sort of like, look, I didn't really understand politics that much. I liked to think I did. I still fucking don't. And I was like, oh, Bernie Sanders, what a guy, fucking. So I was over there during that. But it was a trip that made me realize that there's so much more going on in the world. And you know, some of the stuff that you're talking about actually has a real legitimate fucking cause. You know, I just thought that feminism and everything like that was, you know, all out. But nowadays it's not really, has nothing to do about with that. It's more, you know, it's not gender equality. It's more of a fucking, more about superiority, I suppose.
Sorry, just one second. I got sugar tits. What? For fuck's sake, she wants.
You're having a domestic now, are you?
She wants a fucking wrench. She's knocking on the door and it'll just started live. Well, give me a wrench, like so she can fucking boss around the chat. What a bitch. Hang on, I'll just give her a wrench. Fucking give her a wrench later, I tell you what. Fucking add more.
You've had a big week on this channel, haven't you?
What makes you say that?
Oh, what makes me say that? Sorry, fuck, the crystal meth's just kicking in. Well, you've had a few videos this week go extremely well. Like this has obviously had to be a pretty big. Well, the last month looks like it's been a pretty big.
In terms of plays, yeah, it has been a good week. It has been a good week. You sort of latch onto the right things and whinging and complain about the right things. You tend to go all right. Did a Lacey Green video that got about 400,000 plays, which was good. That that's good going.
That's interesting. The whole Lacey Green thing, because I mean, I've seen her with a lot of, you know, she's been around for years now, and not much that she's said I've agreed with. But
yeah, same.
I don't know. She seems to. I think what she's been talking about recently makes it's a bit more common ground, you know.
It's a good sign. I mean, it's always good when you see any of those people say, let's have a dialogue, let's talk. You know, it's good to talk with people who disagree with you. I mean, it's always good to do that. It's, you know, it's pretty fucking boring staying, you know, in the old echo chamber, sort of repeating the same shit every time. But just on that, I did a live stream, fucking a couple of days ago with this chick called Rez. She's a smaller YouTuber from, I think she's from LA or something.
Yep.
But she sort of copped a similar thing to what Lacey did. She's sort of, for the last few months she's been saying, I want to talk to the other side, and we had a private chat a couple of weeks ago, and she invited me onto a live stream the other day, and we probably had an hours long chat, and it was about, you know, what YouTubers' audiences do, as in like the dogpiling and, you know, harassment and all that sort of shit.
Yes.
And she's absolutely fucking copped it. She has copped it so bad from her supposed friends, like all her feminist mates and all that. Like she did a live stream before. She was that flustered and that fucking sort of defeated that she did a live stream. She's in tears, the poor bird. She was absolutely bawling her eyes out.
I see. That's where I just think you know, if it's really hurting you that much, get off.
Yeah, I agree.
But deal with it. I mean, I know you've got to be fair, because you can't just say that, because it's not fair to just, you know, speak shit about everyone. But you know, I wouldn't, if that was me, I don't think I'd be live streaming it. I wouldn't want to advertise the fact that
I'm the same, but on the same token, like for fuck's sake, I wouldn't keep poking someone till they're in tears. I mean, I think you got to be pretty heartless to do that. Like I'll have a crack at fucking, you know, every man and their dog on the internet, but you know, if you start fucking bawling your eyes out, I'm not going to keep poking you.
Yeah. I guess there's that line there with, you know, I think it's totally fair game, you know, talking shit and stuff like that, because, you know, some people are deserving of it. And I'm also like, you know, you get these people. I've got a mate, and I won't say his name, but he's got like millions and millions of followers and stuff like that. And he's always talking about the haters, you know, the haters. And I just think people get a little bit deluded with the haters thing. Like sometimes I think, you know, everyone has haters, but like if you've got quite a few haters, you're probably actually a shit person. Like it is saying something if you've got that many.
That's a good point, isn't it? Yeah, it's not always your detractors that are just causing this misery. You're obviously saying something shit that's causing you to get
what a weird mind frame when you hear people say, well, you know, I know I'm doing something right if I have lots of haters. I'm like, no, you're just justifying the fact that you're fucking a cunt of a person.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
Lots of people want to talk about Jim Jefferies. You asked me about that the other day as well.
Yeah. People we're obsessed with Jim Jefferies. A lot of my audience would. I think a lot of my audience are the same as me. Like we're big Jim Jefferies fans, but we just reckon he's a bit of a cockhead lately because he's turned all fucking like you saw we were talking about his show the other day. It was fucking fuck Trump. Racism's bad. Fuck Trump. Racism's bad. Fuck. It was just that on endless cycle, just repeat. It was just fucking boring. It was shit.
Well, look at anything that's owned by Viacom, so that's Comedy Central, anything like that. It's a similar agenda. It's the exact same narrative every time. He may not, you know, Jim Jefferies. This is what I said to you, coming from a comedian's point of view. Jim Jefferies has been around a very long time before this. Like he didn't just stumble into liberal left Hollywood and get that show. Like that guy's been fucking around for 20 years doing fucking pubs, clubs, you name it. He's done it. He's done every joke that you're not supposed to do or say. And he's got himself to a point where someone, you know, has gone, right, here's a fucking massive opportunity for you. We'll give you this, and this. And he, you know, he probably does. I would say Jim's the type of guy that would wear his heart on his sleeve, and he probably does mean what he's saying. But, you know, I think is clearly just fucking, it's just so transparently obvious, the agenda that they all have. And I think surely some of them don't think like, how about Caitlyn Jenner? What the fuck is, like, not her. I'm not saying what the fuck is that. I don't mean that. So I don't want to fucking trigger anyone, but you know, like she's a trans, you know, it's Bruce Jenner, as a woman who is a conservative Republican that is a Trump supporter. Like, what do you think of that? Because I can't get my head around that.
Well, I mean, she can be whatever the fuck she wants. I think it's more interesting. Yeah. It's more fascinating to me looking at the people who just can't process it. I mean, why can't you be that?
I know, but it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit their narrative of, same with Milo. Like he always talks about him being, you know, a gay, half Jewish, half Christian guy from the UK. Like if he should be following a narrative, everyone knows what narrative it is, and obviously he's the complete opposite. So
yeah, well, it's good to see. I mean, it is heartwarming to see, and the way they fucking freak out, like. You know, I don't know how much of that Berkeley incident you watched sort of footage of when Milo got protested and that, but like those fucking cunts that are standing there going anti-fascist, anti-fucking gay, you know, like are you serious? He pops it up the ass. He's not anti-gay. He's clearly not anti-fucking gay.
No, God, no. That's the thing. But the interesting thing about those protests, and a lot of the protests after, you know, the Trump stuff. You know, when he was first inaugurated and that. I mean, I'm sure there are genuine protesters in there, but there's some shady stuff that goes on to these protests and organized protests and organized, you know, professional outrage. Yeah. There's some think tanks in the US that are, you know, really funded. Like, I don't know if you saw footage, but there's footage out there of just busloads and busloads of people that they apparently trucked in and you know, to help make the protests even bigger, and you know, all the celebrities.
Is that care of Mr. Zoros? Is it?
Who?
Georgie Soros.
George Soros, yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That guy, and just other people. But yeah, these, that's an interesting. I didn't even know that sort of stuff existed. But apparently, it's not even a conspiracy. It's that's what's actually happening.
But I haven't looked into this sort of shit. I'm probably a bit naive, but what's the fucking end game there? I mean, what do they intend to protest the current administration out of office? I mean,
well,
I doubt that's going to happen.
I mean, sorry, I'm just breathing out some crystal meth. There's a lot of different theories around it, but I believe that obviously there's a movement for the gender stuff and not just sexuality, but with people identifying themselves as apparently there's all these different hundreds and different sexualities and genders and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what they say, at least. So I think everyone wants to be. I think what the goal is for it all to be fluid, if you get what I mean. I think what's
the point here? Like, if it's all fluid, if it's all sort of this one sort of just mixed up fucking just mash of gender, what's the point? Why it just means there's no
well,
gender.
I think that goes deeper into no, I'm not actually on meth. People think I'm on meth. What I think it links back into is the conspiracy of basically, it's the West versus communism and that. And eventually, whether we like it or not, one side is going to rule the rest, and we're going to, globalism and all that is taking place. It will take place, and it's, I just read this comment and it totally threw me. Someone said, "Aussie comedian, how do you tell jokes while you're drunk and beating your wife?" Well, you know what? That's a pretty full-on thing, but Australia does have a massive problem with that. Alcoholism and domestic violence. But anyway, yeah, basically that, the world is going to be run by one government. We're all going to be, there's not going to be any races anymore because we've all would have mixed together and we're going to have one race. Do you get what I mean? Like, we're slowly becoming more robotic almost.
Yeah. Hey, there's Rez in the chat. Big shout out to Rez. I saw your live stream before, Rez. That was shit ass. What those cunts did you? But anyway, you should check Rez out. She's really cool. Yeah, so I think we opened up. You were telling us your story, and you sort of diverted. I think you were a bit.
I just went straight into conspiracy theories. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm cooked as soon as that happens.
So you went to America. You were pretty young when you went to America, weren't you?
Yeah, I grew up in a pretty country town in Australia, and yeah, basically just got lucky with some videos on Facebook, really, and was already doing stand-up comedy growing up. Go down to the pub and my mum would have to take me. But yeah, I just started doing stand-up and then eventually went over there, spent a bit of time there, and yeah, smoked a shitload of weed because I just couldn't believe it was legal in California.
Yeah. And how old were you? Were you sort of 18, 19 when you did that?
Yeah, from 18, 19, and then 20. And I'd come back to Australia every now and then when I needed to for work because I couldn't work over there. But yeah, just kept going back and spent, I traveled right around. I traveled everywhere. I'd seen more of Australia. I mean, more of America by the time I was 19 than I had of Australia.
But you couldn't work. So what's the point in being over there?
Well, I was making like videos and stuff like that for YouTube as well.
Oh, right.
So, I was getting paid by Google in Australia, obviously. And then, yeah, I just would, once I'd run out of money, I would go back home and go on tour here and then go back again.
Yeah. And you've fucking toured all around Australia as well. Like, you've done some.
Now I have, yeah. I've seen fucking, you name it. I really have been everywhere in Australia. Not literally everywhere, but fucking more than most.
Yeah. Like, you've done a Melbourne Comedy Festival and shit. That's pretty impressive. Melbourne Comedy Festival.
I don't know. I wouldn't. That's what the outside think. People think the Melbourne Comedy Festival is a big thing, but fucking any cunt can actually enter it. Like, really,
don't talk yourself up, man. Fucking.
No, I'm not. I really mean that. Like, that's the big sort of joke in comedy is, every comedian goes, "Oh, we do the Melbourne Comedy Festival," and people hold that in high regard. But really, you've only got to pay a registration fee and have a venue. That's it. And you could do a cafe. Like, it doesn't really matter. where you are. But yeah, I've done pubs, clubs. Some venues have been crap. Some venues have been great. There's been good shows, bad shows. You go through the whole fucking lot of it. But that's how you learn to become sort of a better comedian. Like the other night, I was in Ipswich, and as soon as I walked on stage, we'd been testing the mic all day for hours. It had been fine. The whole sound system just went. And at that point, I had to fucking just go, right, I'm yelling the rest of the show. Like, we can't turn back now. So for an hour, I told the show without a microphone, and it worked well. Like, I got through it, but yeah, it takes practice.
It's just fucking, like it's stressful though. I mean, I remember playing in the band years ago. Like a couple of times I'd get up on stage and you'd break a string or something in the first song. And you go, fuck, because like changing a guitar string or a couple of guitar strings is a pretty awkward thing when you're sweating balls in the middle of a punk gig. It's fucking pretty intense shit. But so tell us about tell us about what, like, surely you've got some, you'd have some funny stories about your shit gigs, wouldn't you? Tell us about a couple of your shit ones, and I'll ask you about a couple of your good ones.
Well, I mean, when I first started out, I did the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and that was 28 shows over 28 days. So you do a show every night. And for the first week, you play it safe, and Friday comes around, you have a few drinks that night, you hung over the next day, you do the show again. Then eventually it just turns into you just drink every night because you can't get over a hangover because you're working every night. And you've just got, people coming to your show, so you want to have a beer with them, say good day after. So for 28 days, I was 18 when this had happened. I went to Melbourne, did the shows. And for 28 days, it was like Supersize Me, but for grog, right? For alcohol. And it was this experiment on my body, right? And I was smoking bongs every night. Like, I just had this world. I'd entered this world pretty quickly just through YouTube and Facebook that, like, I could have a beer every night for free and didn't have to pay for it. I was 18. I couldn't fucking understand that. So I went all out, and people they'd come and drop weed at my show, like at the end of the show when I'd meet everyone. Someone would pass me a joint every now and then or some bud. So I just went fucking loose on the stuff. But craziest show. Geez, I've had shows in Frankston, which is in Melbourne, where I had a chick come on stage who said she was a stripper, and I was sort of joking. I said, "Oh, yeah, bullshit. If you were, you'd have your tits out," like as a rebuttal, because she heckled me. So, that's basically permission where it's free game by that point. You can say whatever you want.
I think that's
obviously not too hard, but, but anyway, she came up on stage, like, when I said that, and got her fucking tits out in front of everyone, and everyone cheered. It was like only 150 people, but it was this weird, which actually, the mod of the chat, what's her name? Sugar Tits.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all coming back to you, but yeah. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy show, having a chick and 150 people roaring at her because she's got her tits out next to me on stage.
And so, did that sort of take the steam off the combo? Did they stop laughing? Were they just staring at tits then?
Nah, like, I suppose, like, I've done other shows where, like, I've just been put in a venue that, like, clearly is not made for stand-up comedy. I remember one of the first shows I did on this tour, there was no chairs in the venue, right? No chairs, so everyone was standing. Can you imagine telling a show to, like, making people stand for an hour or an hour and a half?
Yeah, that's fucking shit.
And you're standing in front of them as well, and you're telling a story. Yeah, it was fucking weird. I was like, this is the hardest and worst thing I've ever done. Like, I didn't organize that. Like, I had people organizing these shows for me. But yeah, I couldn't believe that they didn't organize chairs for a comedy show. So that one sucked.
Yeah, you'd stand there and you'd sort of feel like they're sort of just shuffling around, sort of waiting for a chair, because that's what you do when you haven't got a chair, isn't it? You stand there.
Yeah, and the worst thing was seeing people in the front row, like, eventually just sitting down and crossing their legs just to, like, feel comfortable watching. Because they'd all paid money. It was just like, whoa, like, this is I was really embarrassed.
What was the venue? Was it like a live rock venue or something?
Well, I had signed to an agency at this point, and they were like, right, they did a lot of bands and stuff like that. And they were like, look, we'll get you all these venues. We'll set up this tour. And that first show, that was the first one that they did. Basically, I just went back to it and was like, look, like, there's one requirement for every show. I don't care. I've done shows in nightclubs before where basically I forced them. I said, look, if you're going to book me in a nightclub, that's fucking shit. But there's no dance floor. Everyone has to have a fucking chair. So we've set up a comedy club in like full on, like, nightclubs where, like, your Will Sparks and Timmy Trumpets and shit like that would play.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
weird as well.
What's that? What's that?
Sorry.
What's weird?
Oh, performing in a
like a live venue sort of thing.
Yeah, as like doing a comedy show in a nightclub, it just doesn't. It never seemed to work. But the agency thought that it would work because they're like, oh, young people, you're young, people go to nightclubs. So, do you get what I'm saying?
And what's the sort of demographic of your audience? Are they young people? Are they middle aged, or is it?
It's weird because it's all over the place. Like I've got people's mums that come to my show with their, with their daughter or their son or whatever, and it's but it's mostly people aged, like all my shows are 18 plus, so everyone is, I guess, an adult, so 18 to 24, and then it's not uncommon to see someone that's 30 or whatever there. Definitely not old people, and it's definitely not like there's a lot of swearing and shit in it, so it's, people would call it lowbrow, but it's speaking
of swearing, Cunny, was Cunny your nickname growing up?
No, my nickname growing up was Poofter because I did in the class. No, I'm joking. Hope that didn't fucking trigger anyone. But no, really, I was the kid that basically did drama at school and liked acting, but and always sort of was quiet. Like I'd be witty at times. I'd yell shit out. I wouldn't yell shit out at the teacher, but if the teacher said something, then I was one step ahead of her, the whole time. But no, Cunny was basically, I don't really know. I started using it in just Instagram posts, or Twitter or something. I'd just call the people that watch my video, like, "Hey, Cunnies," whatever, because it sounded what it meant to me was cheeky cunt. Some people think it means funny cunt, but it's just cheeky cunt. So the character that I was playing in my YouTube videos was like a bogan cunt, so but it was cheeky, he said things, and the character could say things that were kind of outrageous, but because he sort of always has a grin on, or he gets away with it. So Cunny, that was the essence of the character.
I love the part in your Uber driver's fucking video where he's driving his Uber to Townsville, and he picks up the chick, and he goes, what does he say? He goes, you see the movie Matilda? She went to learned her magic at the library. That fucking smart kind of a thing. That's fucking hilarious.
Well, see, the other thing is that's all improvisation as well. So I don't write it all. I don't write any of it. I just have the idea, and I get a cameraman and go, all right, let's just go and fucking shoot it. That's what I love about mockumentaries.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it does look produced. Like it looks like you've got a director or a cameraman at least.
Now I do. The 60 Minutes one, I just had a friend helping out with that. But now, the Uber driver one, I had a friend helping out. The 60 Minutes video that we did, the parody of 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
That we went to a lot of effort with that one. So I had a friend who is a producer that helped me out.
Well, you would have had to have coordinated that one a bit because you were both 60 Minutes.
Someone commented, "Wow, this guy looks like a bitch." I like that. Yeah, I do. That was my biggest complaint. I'm like, "Fuck, what is this fucking photo?"
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. So we're talking about your video. I'll tell you the other one I fucking pissed myself at was it seems to be a sort of a later one of your more recent formats is the bongs at the petrol station one. Fuck, that was funny.
Bombs at the petrol station.
Bombs.
Oh, bombs. I thought you said bombs. I was like, bombs at the petrol station? What happened? Where? The bongs at the petrol station. Yeah, I've got a real sort of, not a dislike for mainstream media, but, I take it for what it is. I always take it as with a grain of salt, and those sort of, a current affair or, what's the other one? Today, Tonight. I don't know. How would you? What show is like that in America?
I wouldn't have a clue.
It's just sort of like trash news. Like basically the worst. To be like an episode on the worst neighbors that are have rubbish in their backyard.
It's not the daily news. It's like the specialty story that they get deep
into. Yeah,
it's a bit trashy and it's a bit sort of shit sort of thing. But
it's like TMZ but for normal people. Yeah. So I just saw some of the stories they do on that are just fucking ridiculous, and they need to be not exposed, but just actually looked at reasonably.
Mocked.
Yeah, mocked. Yeah, and go, what the fuck are these cunts? Is this really what they're trying people like? Because I watch the news. If you watch the news, it's just the crime report with the weather. Someone got stabbed here. There was a bomb here. This, that. Here's a cute dog, or some kid said, "I like turtles," or some stupid fucking shit like that. Then the weather, and that's it.
You haven't fucking you haven't seen I like you haven't seen a kid say I like turtles on the news. No, I'm calling you on that. That's fucking bullshit.
Have you not seen that? There's a video that went viral. Of course, that's what they do it for now. They just want something on there that's viral. There's a kid that says on YouTube during the news, "I like turtles."
Yeah, that's fucking shit. What about the fucking the other good one was the fucking the little cunt doing the wheelie on his mountain bike past the cops in Adelaide? Like, it's not even a motorbike. It's literally a push bike, a cunt on his little pedal bike doing a fucking mono past the cops, and that's some big fucking that's newsworthy. That's fucking sad as fuck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's on mainstream news. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen much about what's happening with CNN right now, and some of the I don't know if they're leaks or what they are, but
in what regard?
Well, the Trump stuff, they're basically talking about the Russia thing being there was no collusion there, and basically they're just reporting about it for ratings, and they're just.
Were they not pushing it originally though, the Russia thing?
Yeah, CNN always have been. CNN have been really pushing that, and they're starting to get caught out with executive producers and just people that work there saying that there's nothing in it. And they were caught out the other day with an article that was basically fake news, what Trump's been saying, and they removed the article and fired some of their employees, sort of as a saving, good PR, just to make sure that they're. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on over in America with the news and with Trump and all that.
Well, and so now they're fucking their big scoopies. There was no collusion. Well,
they don't know that, but they don't think if there was a smoking gun, we would know about it by now. They're basically just dragging this thing on in this investigation. They haven't found anything yet in this investigation, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, Clinton and stuff like that. They were they had signed deals with Russia before this, and for like nuclear. I don't know exactly what it is, but. They're just all fucking corrupt. Like, and the news, Fox News likes Trump, CNN doesn't. They report on any story, but they have a different take for every story. It's, I know everyone knows that the news is bullshit now.
Well, it's a bit sad though that it's so subjective. It's so sort of ideological these days, isn't it?
It's not news. They're opinion pieces. When you watch these fucking shows, sorry, it just makes me so angry, but they are. They're not reports about anything. It's just a fucking opinion piece.
Yeah. The other thing we were talking about the other day, and a good example of that, in a smaller local scale, is when Cassie J came down with the men's rights conference and got interviewed by our media down here. That was so slanted and so one way. It was fucked. Like, they were setups, weren't they?
Yeah. Oh, they were. Yeah, they were definitely coming from. I mean, Rupert Murdoch. I don't know if you know much about him. The Aussie guy that owns News Corp, which owns like Fox. It owns a bunch of newspapers here. Yeah. I think it's controls Channel 9 or something like that, but it's also about to take over Channel 10. It owns Sky News.
Oh, if they put a bid in for Channel 2, because they've gone into receivership.
Yeah, but his son runs it. It's this big meat. Like, he owns fucking everything, dude. He owns Fox. But he's just this Australian guy, and now he's basically like a major player in the American media scene. It's insane if you look into what he actually owns.
Yeah. His dad was one of the original. The way his family got big in media was his old man was the main correspondent in Gallipoli. Writing back for the
no, I didn't I don't know, my voice just fucking cracked then. I don't know if you heard that, but fuck me. Well, you've only got to look at my profile photo and you'd believe it. I didn't know that. That's
apparently he fucked someone over. He fucked another reporter over pretty badly who who'd done a lot of work, in doing the same thing. But I don't know. There's a big story there. I don't know, but it's interesting shit. I looked into it one day, but it was a long time ago. But it's an interesting read if you have a look at the books and that.
Yeah, yeah. All the media. Jeez, where do you go? I mean, now you've got. I don't know if you ever looked into Alex Jones before. Have you seen that guy?
Oh, I mean, I've watched Alex Jones, for
yeah. So that guy, though, I reckon that one's interesting because he was obviously very pro-Trump during the election, and he sometimes talks about some of the themes that you have on your channel here.
Yeah.
But even he has an agenda with his news, and some of the stuff that he talks about, I believe is the truth. But then other stuff, it's just so amped up, and he just runs it on YouTube.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's more Paul Joseph Watson. He's offside of that sort of crosses over into the stuff that I do. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, how much of a character and how genuine is?
Oh, it's definitely a character. It's just like anything else. Alex Jones is using the same formula that the corporate media do, except he's selling, instead of commercials, he's selling commercials for his own products, right? So instead, but it's got to be amped up. I mean, if you ever watch some of his stuff, he's clearly acting, but all that's what journalism is. When you're the host of a news program, you've got to be acting to an extent.
But there's this element of sort of, it's murky because he's not talking about fiction. He's not talking about fake shit. It's not drama. It's real shit that he's talking about, or it's based on real shit. Like he's not.
But so's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's spinning the story one way. But yeah, I mean, he's had, to be honest with him, and a lot of people call out shit on him, and he's an easy target. He says things. I'm like, Alex, if you want people to fucking take you seriously, because I believe some of the stuff you say is, it's the truth, you can't be acting like a fucking dickhead all the time, mate. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, he spoke a lot about 9/11 and a bunch of different things, and he's had some really big scoops.
Gay frogs. It was gay frogs.
The gay frog. Well, the frog. That's the other thing, is that actually what he was saying was actually right. But he does talk about this interdimensional stuff, and he does go a little bit crazy. That's where I'm like, I don't know.
What hang on, are you saying the gay frogs thing was right?
That was real. Yeah. What he was talking about was basically, and there was a report that came out. You can find it online. It was basically when he says they're turning the frogs gay. What he's saying is globalists, which are basically what he means by that, I guess, is multinational companies or corporations. They were doing something. They were having like a runoff of chemicals into some sort of river, and the chemical. Sargon talked about this on his podcast with Joe Rogan. This is how I found out. So I'm basically just repeating him. But what he said was this chemical runs off into the river and it turns a certain breed of frog gay. It's not even turning them gay. It's changing. It's turning the males into females. It's giving them, mutating some sort of something. I don't know. I'm turning the frogs gay. So
but hang on, so it's turning males into females. So they're tranny frogs. They're not gay frogs.
No, they were hermaphrodites. So they had.
Right.
I'm not kidding. That's
no, I don't think you are. It's just funny. It is funny.
Sometimes fucking fact is crazier than fiction.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it. I'm looking for it now. It's
You just got to keep take Alex Jones with a grain of salt as well, because that's obviously really amped up. He benefits on having people think that everything's a conspiracy as well, because I was one of those people, and now I try to be just objective, because I'd love to believe
you were one of those fucking it's all real. This is
yeah. And I still think that most of what he talks about has a hint of legitimacy there. There's clearly problems with the Catholic Church and all these weird hierarchies that actually have some sort of control, maybe not over the entire world, but they have sections of the world, whether it be the media or the military industrial complex and all these different factions. It's what was crazy about the election? So I just saw someone comment this here, is the Bill Clinton is a rapist thing. Did you ever hear much about that?
What about the fact that he is a rapist?
Yeah, do you remember, like, I remember sitting, like, in Australia during the election and seeing that before a debate that Donald Trump was going to have with Hillary Clinton, just before the debate, he brought,
How Trump brought
like,
his
a bunch of
victims, yeah.
Bill Clinton's rape victims.
Yeah.
Or allegedly,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I kind of, I mean, I don't
insane.
know the ins and outs, but I kind of do sort of err on the side of believing it, to be honest with you.
Pardon?
I said I don't know the ins and outs of it, pardon the pun, but I do sort of err on the side of believing it.
There's some shady shit there, and Bill Clinton used some shady people as well. So, you know, and I don't know if you've looked much into Joe Biden, but there's some that's, you know, they're just all like there's just so much weird shit that's happening.
Who's Joe
Joe
Biden? I know
he
the
was
name.
the vice president. He was the vice president with Obama.
Oh, okay. Right.
There's dirt on them all, though. I mean, who knows?
I'm just looking at this this fucking story. Just on the Catholic Church, I saw a story a couple of weeks ago where the current Pope let off this fucking. Hang on a second, let me find it. Let off this Mexican fucking priest who fucking molested about 100 little girls.
Oh, they've been doing that shit for years, mate. They've all been doing it for years, and it's just like, you know, who knows what's going on now? Because they've, you know,
that is fucked. If that's genuinely,
that's the Catholic fucking church, man. If it's happening there, fuck me dead. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, but that's just yeah. There's some weird shit happening in the world, and I think obviously, you know, what would you say is your main theme on this channel?
Stupid cunts.
Yeah. Okay.
If I had to round it all off, it's it's fucking idiots, really. So, and then yeah, it just so happens that the crazy social justice warriors and the hardcore feminists are the stupidest cunts that are in front of me at the moment. So they're who I point and laugh at. What about you? You don't have a particular theme, do you? You're just a funny cunt.
Yeah, but see, like I'm trying to like before I used to just do a lot of like, you know, bogan stuff because I grew up, you know, I guess I am a fucking bit of a bogan. If you don't know what a bogan is, it's like an Aussie redneck. But you know, now obviously some of the stuff that we're talking about, that's what really fucking fascinates me. I could talk about that shit all day long. You know, so I want to start doing and, you know, having discussions like you're having on your channel, but about, you know, all different types of topics as well.
Yeah, so. Definitely. You mentioned you did a podcast earlier with was it with a feminist or was it with an anti-feminist?
No. I would say Brienne is feminist, but I think she's like very rich. She's you know, for gender equality, just equality for all people. So I'm like, oh well, that, you know, I'm for that. I'm for it. You know, if you do what you want to do and like whatever, like, you know, there's that anti-vaccine thing. I was talking to a friend about that the other day. Or anti-vaxxers, and I'm like, look, I got vaccinated, I'm fine. I'm sure there's like a legitimate argument for both sides, but like, why should it have anything to do with the government? Like, at the end of the day, fucking, like, if you wanted, I took the risk, my parents took the risk and they vaccinated me. If you want to take the risk and do it, or take the risk and not do it, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, why does anyone else have to be involved, like, in any argument? Like, people are just so involved in other people's business.
To play devil's advocate, I mean, I suppose because isn't there an argument there to say, well, you know, if you want a healthy society and you don't want people sort of, you know, getting sick and passing it on to other people, then don't you have to sort of have a uniform standard of health?
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. But at the end of the day, like, in Australia, you have to vaccinate your children, otherwise you don't get any like form of welfare. I don't know if it's like childcare or something like that, but they restrict you for getting something now. And I just don't think, like, I think everyone should, you know, get vaccinated. Of course, it's a herd immunity and stuff like that. But I don't think the government should be forcing anyone to do anything at all.
What, so you think it should be strongly encouraged but not enforced?
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, like, I just don't think, like, you know, if they really cared that much, then they'd be making you take a whole lot of other things. They don't care about your welfare or anything like that. You know, you're just another person here that's got to, you know, work and keep the system.
So if they didn't care about welfare, so what's the point of enforcing it then? Well, what's the motive behind that?
What do you mean?
Well, so if the government are currently like if the government are holding a stick over parents saying you must vaccinate your child, otherwise we're not going to give you, X welfare. What's the point of doing that? They just surely they're not just being cunts. There's a purpose.
Well, they're putting you into a corner. Someone said they're not forcing anyone. In Australia, they actually do. Like it's a law. They passed that recently. Not in America, but
is it not a law in America? Can you just not vaccinate?
No, I don't think it's a law in America. I don't believe so. I think Australia is. That's why it was so highly talked about. That's the only way I heard about this whole argument thing. I haven't looked very deeply into it, but it is an interesting topic that I should have a look at. I don't know. I don't really have any educational or indication as to, I just haven't looked into it. So really, I shouldn't even be commenting on it.
Oh, fuck it. It's a podcast with two fucking cunts smoking meth.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of your podcast, you've got some pretty interesting ones. Would you call the one you did in Nimbin? So you went up to Nimbin was it Nimbin?
Yeah, for the cannabis protest.
The world's slowest fucking protest. These cunts are fucking dawdling along at a snail's pace. They're all fucking stoned out of their fucking brain, just holding these fucking flimsy sign up. Were you even chanting? Were you chanting anything, or was it just a silent?
I just took part in it, really, to be honest, because he had a joint and I wanted to smoke some of the joint. But yeah, I wasn't. People were chanting, but I wasn't. I was sort of just trying to take a subjective view of it. I do believe that cannabis should be legalized. I don't understand. Like whenever I get high, I smile. I think, why is this illegal?
Well, I'd put it this way. I'd rather cannabis be legal and have more people on that than getting absolutely slaughtered drunk on a Friday night and getting into fucking fist fights and that.
Yeah, of course. But, like you said, if they can sell cigarettes at a fucking service station where anyone can go into, and we know that the only benefit from cigarettes is nothing. You just die, right? There's not one. You do tend to look cool as well. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, did you ever smoke? I smoked.
Yeah. I still have the odd ciggy.
Yeah, I try not to now. Only because it just makes me feel more hungover. I do, like when I drink. That's probably the only time I smoke. But
it's impossible not to smoke when you fucking drink. Come on.
When did you?
Let's be reasonable. Fuck.
When did you start drinking?
Oh, fucking pretty young, man. I had a cousin who was a pretty bad influence. So probably about fucking 13 or 14.
Me too. Yeah. I started pretty young. Remember the first night getting drunk? Do you remember that?
Getting drunk. Yeah, I do. I was really young when I think I was about fucking 10 or 11.
Wow. Okay.
And how fucked is this? People are going to fucking curse me, right? Me and me mate pinched my dad's good bottle of fucking Shivers Regal, right? A really good. Is it Scotch? Is it Shivers Regal Scotch? But he had this bottle of Shivers Regal on his fucking mantelpiece. He'd had it for years, kind of thing. And he wasn't a big drinker. He just had it there for show. So there was a nice bottle of Scotch. And we pinched that and we fucking mixed it with Fanta.
Oh, that's great. Fanta and that. Yeah, because when you're young like that, you get drunk for any way possible for the sole reason of just getting drunk, right?
Yeah, no shit. Fucking hell, that was, and we were such dumb cunts too. You know what we did? We thought our master plan, right? We pinched the Shivers Regal, we got the Fanta, and we climbed up on top of my roof and got fucking shit faced. And then we couldn't get down because we were fucking spastic. We tried.
You wouldn't be able to get
his whole bottle of fucking Shivers Regal. And then we ended up jumping down and hurting ourselves.
How old were you? 10.
Yeah, I think I was about 10. That's game.
I
was in fucking primary school, put it that way.
Yeah. No, good on you.
So the Nimbin thing, that you'd call that that was more a documentary sort of thing than you wouldn't call that a podcast, would you call that a documentary?
Yeah, we want to do I like watching this guy named Louis Theroux who does some pretty cool.
Yeah, so do I. He's fucking mad.
Yeah. So I really like him, but if I could sort of do that, but maybe bring a bit of a comedy angle to it as well. I'm interested in, finding out how people think and why they think that way. And
Well, it was a good sort of topic. It was a good event to sort of. I mean, if you want to get into that sort of thing, it was a good thing to go and cover. Have you got anything else in mind for the future? Like, have you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing one on politics here in Australia, or Pauline Hanson specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, or what was the other idea that we had? Oh, we wanted to do one on UFOs.
UFOs, nice.
Mm.
I've been getting into a channel called Secure Team recently, and it's
what do they do?
Oh, it's all UFO, it's all conspiracies, man. I was watching one last night about how there's fucking pyramids and flying saucers buried in Antarctica. And he's using Google Earth to fucking plot where they are, and it's fascinating shit. It's tacky shit, but it's fucking fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Sugar Tits fucking hates it. Yeah, I don't know if I do either, but it's entertaining. It's entertaining. It's like watching the X-Files or something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. What do you think of the moon landing? That's one.
Oh, I reckon there's a fair chance it happened. What do you reckon?
No, I think there's, what you said's totally true. I think there's a fair chance of it happening. Yeah. I don't know why they would lie about not. Yeah. You know, I don't know why they would lie. But there's no point. If we can't go, then I don't think anyone was kicking a fuss.
Yeah. There's not going to be.
It was the government that's like, hey, we're doing this.
Although there could be the argument that they wanted to, because they were in the Cold War at the time, weren't they? There could be the argument that they wanted to show off to the Russians and sort of claim it.
Yeah. So what if it was, this is what I've heard other people say, that what if we did go, because the footage of the moon landing looks weird. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that they don't. I
haven't studied it, to be honest with you. What it looks like it could be in the studio.
So I've heard one theory. Like, I don't believe any of this, but I just like, you know, romanticizing with all these different possibilities. But maybe that the footage was fake to beat Russia. Yeah. Or the fact that they recorded them landing on the moon, you know, on a set, to make sure that they had it in case for some reason that the mission failed, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Which obviously it didn't fail, but yeah, it's interesting.
Sure, we haven't set foot on the moon for 30 years, isn't that?
Yeah, weird? That's the other weird thing that they bring up. These people that deny the moon landing, they go, well, why haven't we been back? Maybe there was nothing there.
Well, they're literally fuck all there. It's just craters and shit.
Yeah. They do say, though, that what's on the moon is unnatural. Like, it's not natural. They didn't find anything. I don't know what the right thing is, like in the dust and something like that. Like, apparently that the moon is synthetic for some reason. Well, it's bigger than Pluto.
It's what? Bigger than Pluto?
It's bigger than Pluto. I'm fairly certain. I'll Google that to make sure. But yeah, the scientists can't figure out. Maybe they can figure it out. I just don't know. But apparently they can't figure out why something bigger than Pluto is.
Didn't the moon originally? Isn't the theory that the moon collided, or some planet or something collided into the Earth and like a chunk broke off and became the moon? Is that what?
Yes, yeah. There's that as well.
Some can't even say it's hollow. Apparently, it's fucking.
The moon is hollow. Yeah, that's what some people say. Yeah, and then there's something to do with like the Nazis. The Nazis were like this is all like documented shit.
Yeah.
The Nazis had like they were doing investigations into, or spending research money on like the paranormal and the occult and some weird shit. They were trying to figure it out as well. And apparently China right now, I saw an article on the internet on like a major news website that China was spending money on like psychic, like researching children that say they're psychic.
Really?
Yeah. Chinese. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to Google it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm googling the moon.
I don't want to say anything. No.
Yeah. No, it's a bit too hardcore. I should have come prepared. We should have pre-organized our fucking moon chat, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I just go straight down to conspiracies. I'm sorry. I'm like the Australian bogan Alex Jones.
Yeah. And so we'll get back on track. So who have you got? sort of coming up for? Have you got anyone interested in coming up for podcasts and that sort of thing? Like, who do you sort of tend to get for your podcast? I noticed that we were talking about you one the other day where that cunt bought on the fucking his $2,000 glass bong. That was fucking hilarious. Was that just a stoner off the street, or where'd you find him?
What was that? Sorry, got a bird outside, fucking screaming shit at me.
You know the one where you had that bloke on and you were smoking cones with him, and he brought on his $2,000 glass bong with.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. What about it? I'm cooked. Hello? Hello?
Yellow.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, fuck. Was that? I thought it was you. I'm sitting here going, fuck, what a dumb cunt.
Was that? I think that was you.
Yeah, no, I think it was.
Going, hello. I'm like, oh no, that's fucking embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, isn't it? Especially when you're on someone else's channel. Sorry about that.
You're right. I just got to fucking link again so I can see it. But anyway, I thought, fuck, the CIA's got us for talking about the moon.
For the fucking, we're onto the hollow moon. Fucking kill them. Yeah, I think we were talking about your podcast and your guests, like how you've found your guests and who you've, have you got anyone else sort of lined up?
Yeah. So Americans won't know. So there's people that I want to get on. Like I'd love Chappelle Corby to come on.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, she's a human as well. And you were talking at the start of the podcast, start of this chat about, what was it, Rez?
Yeah, Rez.
And seeing that she's got a human story behind her, and so does Chappelle Corby. So I'd love to have her on. I'd love a Pauline Hanson. I'd like to.
Fuck, that'd be interesting too. Pauline Hanson would be great. Yeah,
because again, she's got some shit to say, and I'd be interested in what she's got to say for an hour. Yeah. She'd go off on some good tangents, I reckon. And the good thing about having Pauline Hanson on is you might not necessarily agree with her, so you might have some sort of spirited, conversation, which is always good. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think like you're talking about with this, the whole feminism thing is you've got to be able to listen to both sides and go, look, what's your what do you think? And this is what I think, and maybe they're the same. She's got legitimate concerns, and people obviously agree with her. So we have to be, fair to that on both sides. It just needs to have a conversation. You can't just keep running around calling people racist, sexist, xenophobes, you name it. Like, I can't fucking stand that when people start pulling out Nazi and shit. Fuck, that annoys me. mate, we're just fucking all human. We all really just want what's best for our family, ourselves, and our children. So
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. I mean, I think there's very few people out there that are actually, like they sort of make out that people on our sort of side, in quotation marks, are actually fucking racist cunts, and we hate women and we hate fucking hate gay people and that, and there's very few people in the world that are actually that hateful. There's really not many at all.
Yeah. When did just out of interest, have you always been interested, or like, obviously you're doing the feminist stuff now. Has that always been something that you've been passionate about? Or like
No, not at all. Not at all. I was I knew absolutely nothing about it until probably 2 or 3 years ago, and the way I got into it was a mate of mine who I'd sort of go around and we just play pool and drink beers in his garage to Sargon. He had Sargon on all the time, so we'd listen to him and I sort of got to know his voice, sort of thing. You get familiar with their voice. You go, oh, who's that guy? And like, so about 2.5, 3 years ago, I didn't even know that you could fucking subscribe to people on YouTube. I thought it was literally just a search engine for videos. So I learned about that and subscribed to him, and then eventually sort of just said, oh fuck, we could do that. And I was going to sort of work on the channel with a couple of mates, or a mate at least, and they just sort of were never really interested, so I took it on, and here we are.
Do you know much about Antifa? Because some people are saying they think I'm in Antifa, but I have no idea what the fuck it is, but I hear a lot about it. I just don't.
I know a little bit about it. I mean, it's apparently, and I've only just learnt this in the last couple of weeks, apparently Melbourne's got a pretty strong Antifa fucking chapter. It's anti-fascist, so they're those cunts
that sounds fascist.
Yeah, well, it is. It fucking is fascist. Yeah, they're those cunts that wear black and have black masks on and just cause shit. Like they're fucking they're usually wimpy little cunts. Like they're sort of piss weak little uni students most of the time, little pale fuckers. But they run around.
What are they fighting for?
Oh, because everyone's racist, man. Everyone's just racist as fuck. So you can't be racist.
Are you for real?
Yeah, dead set. So they're causing a lot of drama in America, with like at the free speech rallies and all that shit at the moment. But there was a thing in Melbourne just last weekend, and it was like there's a group called the True Blue Crew, who are pretty far right, and they're pretty rough and ready.
They're called the True Blue Crew.
They're the ones draped in Australian flags and all. And look, they are pretty rough. I don't necessarily agree with everything they've got to say, but fuck, I certainly don't agree with these little Antifa fucks. And so they're Antifa are the ones that turn up and you don't want to fight them and sort of do counter protests to them and all that sort of shit.
But what over? Like, what are their main issues?
Oh, because they're racist. So the True Blue Crew are sort of
anti-racists.
Yeah. So these the right people will sort of organised a rally type thing, and it's all about don't let too many Muslims into Australia, etc. Let's not let too many Muslims in, that sort of thing. And then they'll turn up and they'll be like, no, open the borders for fucking anyone who wants to come in. Open the we're not racist. You're racist if you do that sort of thing. So the fucking the sweet spot is in the middle, isn't it? Let's not be complete cunts. Let's treat refugees well and do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But of course you're not going to open your fucking borders willy nilly. That's ridiculous.
No, you can't. There's a cultural clash. Like there are cause for concern in that, but and I totally agree with that. Like this Pauline Hanson, I think one of the quotes is she doesn't think Islam is compatible with Australia, and at face value, you could people would call that racist or whatever, these Antifa people, but Islam and different cultures and that aren't the same. Nothing's ever going to fucking click in like Lego. Like there's always going to be some sort of
and I mean
whatever ideology it is.
Yeah, and I suppose it's I'm certainly not one of these people who sort of puts up a brick wall and says let's have none of it, but I think it's about keeping an eye on what's going on the ledge. Fuck it.
Why don't we just stop bombing the shit out of them, and then they can feel free to stay wherever they want.
Everyone's cracking the shit, Sadie.
What?
You're like an hour over when you said you were going to start.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Are you online?
We've been live for an hour, you fucking idiot.
Oh fuck!
Sugar Tits is so Sugar Tits. They've had you. Sugar Tits has just come in and she's gone. Are you guys going to start? You've got to fucking update. You've got to refresh your iPhone. You're a dickhead.
Fuck, I was talking to Memory and then I came back and I was like, why didn't they start it? And the chat's like, yeah, no, he hasn't started.
That is so
fuck
dumb.
Fuck you, chat. Fuck you. Hi, Josh.
That is so
I'm walking away and showing you.
That is so fucking dumb.
Show everybody.
Oh, she's not going to live that one down. So, you know how you got to update your iPhone to see that it's live. She's been sitting there thinking that we're just talking amongst ourselves. We haven't gone live yet for an hour.
Oh,
what a dickhead!
Right, you guys fucking got her fucking awesome.
Yeah, well done, Chad. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. So what were we saying? I mean, I think that you've got to. It's all about just monitoring and you know if there are problems being caused by letting too much of a certain culture in you've got to take action. You've got to be vigilant. And you've got to take the necessary steps for it not to be a problem.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you're fucking automatically racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that term pisses me off anyway. Islam is a fucking religion. You can't be racist towards a religion. It's not possible. That's ridiculous.
You can't. But they're also, and Pauline Hanson often says that she doesn't believe that Islam is a religion. She believes it's a political ideology. But it is a religion, and then there's also a political ideology that goes along with it. Just like with Christianity, a lot of our laws in the West are based off of Christianity and stuff like that. One flag under God.
That's true. That's true.
It's all got a theme. Religion is often.
But I don't think there's. I mean, doesn't Islam actually have a like isn't there certain things written down about the the ideology as well, sort of within the books and that? I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that was my.
The argument. A lot of the arguments are that the Quran is a violent book and promotes violent stuff, but I've read some of the First Testament and it's fucking every bit of mythology has got fucked up shit in it from all different types, not just religion, but
the First Testament is fucked, and the argument is, I mean,
just as bad as one another.
The fallback for a lot of Christians is, well, the Old Testament was replaced by the New Testament, which is nice and fluffy and lovey-dovey. But I mean, then why is the Old Testament still part of the fucking book then? I mean,
I just find it bizarre that they have like a second version that they wrote all these years later that was totally different.
Yeah. Well, it's like the sequel. It's like when you go down to the old video shop and you buy the fucking the Home Alone 1 and 2 that are stuck together in a box. It's like
it's package.
Yeah.
Package deal.
Yeah, you got to have both of them. Otherwise, it's just not the same Home Alone experience without both of those wacky adventures. So it's kind of a package deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, we've been going for an hour now. I can't fucking believe Sugar Tits. That's fucking so dumb. That's just monumentally dumb. Fucking hell. We've been going for an hour, man. We might think about wrapping it up, but
it's been a good chat though.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you're coming down to Melbourne, and I'm gonna jump on your podcast. So when's that?
Yeah, but fucking thanks for everyone for joining in and coming to talk some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. When are you down in Melbourne?
August time.
Yeah, nice. Are you doing a couple of shows down here?
Pardon?
Are you doing some shows down here?
Yeah. I'm just reading the comment. Claims Christianity is violent. Quotes the Old Testament. Did I quote the Old Testament? I don't really know anything in the fucking Old Testament. I just know apparently it's got some fucked up shit in it. I'm really just talking about nothing.
I thought you were talking about the Old Testament. Oh, didn't you mention the Old Testament?
Yeah, but I don't think I quoted anything from it. I don't know anything.
No, you didn't quote anything. You just said there's some fucked up shit in it, which there is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
we'll research that shit. We'll confirm it on your podcast.
One day,
and we'll do some looking into the hollow moon as well. By then, we'll come prepared.
No, we're gonna be fucking tinfoil hat on our head by the end of it.
We'll be all on it. Good to chat to you, man. It was really good having you.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you later.
All right, no worries. See you, mate.